Imagine the ability to put your Headrush amps through any cabinet you choose. Well, that can be done with impulse responses, and in the next few minutes, we're going to check that out. Hey there, it's Scott the Pedal Guy. How you doing? We're all about pedal demos, pedal knowledge, and pedal sales. I love pedals, and so do you. In today's video, I'm going to take you through how to use impulse responses with the Headrush Mx5. But before we get to it, if this is your first visit to my channel, please take a second, click on that subscribe button down there, give me a thumbs up, help my video rank in the YouTube algorithm so I can make more content for you. Simply put, an impulse response is a sample of a guitar or bass cabinet, and then it is applied to whatever amp you've got loaded up inside of the Headrush. There are 300 included with the MX5, and there are literally thousands out there that you can buy and download and install into the MX5. So it just gives you a wide palette of sounds to play with, and I really hope you'll like what you hear. Let's get to the demo. Now, when I start working with impulse responses, I typically like to start with a blank canvas. And in this case, I've got a blank rig here that just has an instance of the orange amp and a matched 212 cabinet to give me that jangly sound. So that's going to be a good starting point. And you can also see that the amp and the cabinet are mapped out to the first two foot switches here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn off the cabinet. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want you to hear the impulse response as I load it in. Okay? So I'm going to bring up the impulse response. Now I have a choice between IR and IR1024. The IR1024 is a truncated version of the original full resolution impulse response. Unless you absolutely must use that, I would go ahead and just use the full resolution to really get the full effect. Now once that's done, you have a whole bunch of different parameters here to work with. So first and foremost, you have your folder. Now the folder, this is where it's all subdivided out into the different types of cabinets and impulse responses that are available to you. For this purpose, I'm going to work with the Tangerine 212 open back just to be a little consistent with the original matched cabinet. Now in addition to that, you have your IR file where you have all of the various impulse responses of that cabinet with different microphones and different positionings of those microphones. So you get a balanced, a bright, a dark, a room for the Royer 121, the Dyne 12, a C414, an SM57, and of course a U87. For the moment, I'm just going to stick with the Royer 121 balanced. We then have the gain parameter. Now I'm going to turn that down. I've already turned it down here to about -15 or so. And the reason I'm going to do that is because at full gain, this thing will distort like crazy. You don't want to do that. I want to basically match the amplitude. I want a level match between the matched cabinet, the original matched cabinet, and the impulse response so you can hear the difference, and it's not going to be a huge volume jump. That just makes it a much more distracting demo. From there, I've got the low cut filter, I've got a high cut filter, and I've got my mix parameter. So if I go back out to the top level, I have my cabinet, and then I have my impulse response. Now I really like the way it sounds, but I want to fine tune that a bit. So I'm going to go back in there. I'm going to go to the IR file, and the IR pull down menu, I should say, and this brings up the list. Now here's a power tip on how to get through this really fast and find the microphone and mic placement that you like. Just use the rotary encoder while that drop down menu is open. You know, I'm actually going to go a different way here. Actually, let's go ahead and back out, and let's go to something different. Okay, let's go to the Blackline 810, and let's do that same thing. Okay, so let's find a completely different cabinet to really give you a good A/B difference. Okay, I'm going to stick with that SM57 with the Blackline 810 balanced. So now if I go back out to the top, let's turn off the impulse response. Here's the cabinet, the original matched cabinet. Now here is the impulse response. So that gives us a really interesting result. And of course we can enhance that further by going in and popping in a reverb if we want to. So let's say something like so this is, like I've said, a total just flash of a demo. It goes by really fast here, but this is just to get your feet wet and get you to understand what you can do with impulse responses. There are so many different combinations, so many different things you can do, and it just is up to you and your creativity to figure out how you're going to implement that the best way possible. Because you've got 300 impulse responses included with the MX5. There are literally thousands out there that you can purchase from, like, say, Sonic DNA or Celestion. They make some really amazing, Celestion, come on, that's the name, right? Everybody knows that name. Well, that wraps up this demo on how to use impulse responses with the Headrush MX5. I hope you found it helpful. If there are any topics that you'd like me to cover, use the comment section below. Let me know and I'll consider it for a future video. See you soon. Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any further questions, be sure to visit us at thepedalguy.com. But in the meantime, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly videos and tutorials. Thanks for stopping by here at thepedalguy.com, where I love pedals and so do you.